Put on your mental track shoes and run with me. This is the Powwow with Myra. Hello and welcome to the Powwow with Myra. Today we have the privilege of hosting Cyfa and Jesse, where we will learn about their collaboration and journey in the music industry in Dallas, Texas. Welcome, guys.
How you doing?
Hello.
Doing fantastic. So honored to have you both here today and learn about your collaboration and all the exciting things you're doing now with shaking up Dallas and with the music. So to get started, could you do me the honors and introduce yourself? Let's start with Cyfa.
I go by the name Cyfa Fix, also known as Big Cypher, MC, hip hop artist, songwriter, you name it. I'm a babysitter, whatever you need me to do. I make music, of course, but I don't. I just make music, man. That's my passion. That's my way of life. That is my language to life. My contribution. Like everybody has a purpose. I feel like that's mine.
Your contribution. I love that. I love that. And Jesse, can you introduce yourself and let us know what your role is in this collab?
Yeah, Jesse Dale Queens. I'm a producer, and we have a label, and Cyphers part of the label. So what our main goal is to just basically push him and hopefully put enough eyes on him because he does have a gift, a talent. So we are pushing and investing in his career so that, we can get him to that point because he deserves to get there.
Yes, right. I agreed. I see everything you guys are doing on social media. I'm following. And I think you guys are definitely shaking things up.
Yeah.
Doing great things. So just to get started, I'd like to learn on how you guys met. How was it that you guys crossed paths and started working together? Cypher, what's your side of the story?
Man, they came to Freeman one night.
Yeah.
And they was at Freeman. And they was like, yo, you got it. First name first. When we first met, he was like, man, I want to work with you. And usually for me, when people say it, I'd be like, all right, cool. All right. Ain't nothing against nobody, but I mean, you hear that all the time as artists. And as soon as you said it, it turned consistent. And we did our first record, which was
Watch Me Fly.
Watch Me Fly.
Yeah.
That was the very first one. I knew he was serious because he was like, yo, meet me here. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I got something for you. Like, this is for the video. This is, what we doing, and I want you to wear this. He pulls out, it's like an aviator coat, like with the pilot jacket. That pilot jacket was so fly. To this day, I still rock this. I rock this pilot jacket like it's an outfit, no lie. And we did the record, and it was so much put into the record, a lot of emotions put in behind the record. And fast forward, he hit me again. He was like, yo, I want to do this collaboration. I was like, man, what do you want to do? I'm with it, because I know what I'm going to get from him. I know I'm going to give it his all. He going to give me his all, and I'm going to give him all. And he called me one day out the blue, texted me one day out the blue. He was like, yo, I think we need to go with you on this album. Like, I think you need to do your debut album, and I'm all in. He was like, I want to do it. And I'm like, so we're not doing a collaboration? He was like, nah, I'm putting it on pause. He's like, it's about you right now. It's your time.
Yeah.
And from every time we talk, and I tell them something, I let them know, hey, we got this going on, such want to do this, They're like, that's dope. It's your time. And so for me, that stuck. Like, anybody that's willing to like put themselves to the side to see about you, like that's deeper than anything to me, honest opinion. Because, a lot of people, I've been at this a long time. I have a really big name, underground music Dallas. I mean, just a big name in the underground music scene, period. And so a lot of people connect with me, not for the connection, but to just kind of attach themselves to what's going on. Like, he was already working with other artists. He's already doing his own thing. He's already put his hands on music. I mean, so he didn't have to invest anything, time, effort, money, anything. Right. He was like, yo, nah, I got you. Anything, I'd be like, yo, I want to do this. Can we do this? All right, let me look into it. We'll make it happen. And he make it happen. Somehow, somewhere, I don't even ask questions. I'm just like, I know I'm good. So, I mean, we just kept working.
Yeah.
Now we here. And I'm like, I just told you like I told you a while ago, like, looking back a year ago and then fast forward a year later, it's like, whoa.
Yes. When was the moment when at first you mentioned, that, oh, maybe this is just another guy, and when was the transition when you said, oh, he's real? Like,
Um,
when would you say that
he was
transition
like,
was?
"Oh, we're gonna do a session. Pull up to the crib." And so like, when most people like, yeah, I'm recording at the house, you're like, okay, let me see how this go. No lie, I was like, all right, let me see. And he's like, yo, I got everything at the crib. And I'm like, all right, cool. I get upstairs, I get to the crib. He literally got everything at the crib. Like it's like a whole, ain't no furniture, none of that. Not in the sense they don't want it. It's like this is the furniture. It's like he has a full-fledged mixing board, like everything. He was like, yo, we finna work. And I was like, oh, he's serious. Then his wife walked in with like the big thing of Raising Cane chicken tenders, and I was like, okay, they serious because I like to eat. Nah.
Yeah, they're feeding me. We're here.
And at that point, we was like, cool, let's ride. And usually when you start something with somebody, it'll start off, but the momentum will die. We ain't lost not a stitch of momentum. We actually been going so up.
Oh yeah.
Like you lose how far you've gone in a matter of weeks from just, okay, we at the crib recording to, I call him one day, I'm like, yo, I got access to MediaTek. You want to go to MediaTek? He was like, what's that? I was like, oh, you don't know. I was like, here, pull up here. Come on. For me, I was excited. I was like a kid at a candy store, like, you ain't never seen this toy before? Oh, I'm finna show you this toy. And so we walked in, and he was like, oh, yeah, we finna work. It was a full-fledged big room studio. We at the A room. And I've been at MediaTek since 2018, first time I started working. So I call them, I'm like, hey, I want to record. They're like, Cypher, you can come do whatever you want to do. Just pull up. And when I brought, we've been locked in so tough. So tough, man. Like, them sessions be spiritually and emotionally just tuned in. Everybody in their tap, period. From songwriting to production.
Dialed in.
Man, dialed in so hard. And so it just keep, like, it's like a brick by brick by brick.
Just keep building.
The more you build, and like now it's like a lot of my friends who've always wanted to connect, but we didn't have the resources or anything. Now I'm bringing them in, like, okay, I think we can. And he knows a lot of them, so he like bring them.
Creating opportunities.
He like bring
Absolutely.
them. You know what I'm saying? Like I brought him, called my brother. I was like, I need a writer. He was like, you ain't gotta ask. I tied everybody in. Now we got like a real team, a real situation to where like we can walk to a label and be like, yo, we got everything.
Wow.
Like, he don't need, all we need from y'all is distribution. We don't need nothing else.
Wow.
Like we got our own team. We got people that'll come in and do pretty much whatever we need done.
I love that. And Jesse, from your perspective, what motivated, or what did you see in Cyfa that you said, this is the guy?
Well, first off, being a hip hop artist in Dallas is tough. All right, especially if you're trying to perform hip hop in venues. You can find country music, you can find R&B, you can find all those other genres, but hip hop, to me, now this is my opinion about Dallas. I don't think they support hip hop as much as the other genres. And so when I saw Cypher at Freeman and how he flipped his covers and how his band put their sauce and spice on those covers, man, and how he spit over that, and with confidence, he owned the stage. Not only that, but his voice resonates out throughout the PA system, all over in the audience. And I said, I got to get with this guy, man. I'm trying to watch my language.
No, go right
I'm getting
ahead.
excited.
This is all, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to say.
This guy
don't hold
has
back.
a gift, and so I researched him and I looked up all his songs. I'm like, the guy don't have an album. I'm like, why? Right? And so, and like we spoke on the last podcast, my vision and passion is to produce music for artists, right? And I couldn't find nobody. I was pitching, my wife can tell you, I was pitching, emailing people, texting, whatever. Nobody responded.
Nobody
And
responded.
As soon as I talked with this guy, I said, hey, man, I want you to be featured on my single. He said, yeah. We brought him in the studio. Admire his work ethic. I mean, he got it done quick. And he asked if I had any more beats to do a few more songs before the session ended.
Ooh.
That was my first session encounter with Cypher. All right. So we have a good team. because his work ethic, he's passionate about it. He's committed to it. He's a man of his word. And so I can go miles with people like that. Right. So we have done a whole lot since then. And I can't even see the limits with what we're going to be doing right now. So y'all just stay tuned. A lot is coming.
And so your passion is like the producing side of things, because
that's what he say. Like, don't get me wrong, he an awesome producer, like awesome. Listens, you could tell him, yo, I want this. Come back to the next session. It's exactly what you want, and it's spiced. Like, I'm big on sonic sounds. Like, I'm really big on. I play drums. I'm big on drums. So I was like, man, I want big drums. And literally in the middle of the session, he like, all right, hold on. He pulls out all the drum kits he can pull out on his computer, and he like, we running through drums, and I'm rapping as he run through drums. You know what I mean? And I'm looking like, oh, he's serious. It's like, all right, bet. But to me, watching him manage me as an artist, environment, situations, like get business done, like my writer calls me, he like, man, tell him I want to do it. Tell him I want to do it. Talk to him, please. Talk to him. It's 7:20 in the morning on like a Monday, Tuesday. I'm like, huh, man, tell Jesse I want to do it. Please, man, tell him. I said, okay, talk to your manager. Talk to the. He like, nah. I want to work with y'all. Yeah. I'm like, he called me back. Before I could even anything, Jesse Tation was like, all right, deal done. We locked in. I'm like,
yep. Agreement signed. Got the writer.
All right, we got the writer on the team.
Straight to business, like you said.
I mean, it was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is. Sometimes I'll be sitting like, this real. Like,
yes.
People calling. You got people. I got friends that's touring overseas. It's like, hey, bro, you really working on the album? I'm like, yeah, I'm working on the album. I'm like, bro, y'all killing. 2 weeks later, they call back. They like, bro, y'all going crazy. Like, y'all moving quick. Like, y'all, I was seeing the first video y'all put out. Y'all was at the crib to now y'all at different studios. Yeah. Y'all not just in one location. Y'all at different studios. Or y'all doing different parts of the studio.
Bro, you know? Even when I watched that, how far we came, man, it's like mind blowing.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally, like.
Well, you know, with Jesse, with being the producer, because you're, like you said, he's not just a producer, you're also an artist yourself. And so you're able to see multiple areas of the entire picture, right? And carve the way you mentioned. It's in Dallas, your opinion is that it's harder for hip hop artists versus anything else. What makes you say that?
Well, when me and my partner, our wife, Kelly Ross, when we try to rent out facilities and venues in Dallas, sometimes we'll keep out the word hip hop. We got a band, we got, you know, R&B, we're covering stuff. We need a place to do our event. Everybody's okay. And then I said, well, we're going to do hip hop. It's out. Either that or they want a very high ass kind of like insurance contract and all of that. You know, and then I just don't see nobody pushing the hip hop genre. Now, I see a lot of it out in social media, but the city itself, I don't see it pushing this genre.
I see. You see more friction. Yeah. Within the city, living in the city, representing the city. It sounds like other businesses they're a little bit more hesitant, which makes it harder for you know, anybody in DFW, which is huge. It's one of the top growing industries just all around, you know, in the States. And, you know, for you guys that are deep in the business music industry, you can see that, you can feel that, you're experiencing that. And so here it sounds like what you're doing is you're carving the way and you're collaborating, you're making a team, and you're making it overall easier to make Dallas be represented by the community that you guys
and he's been here longer than me, so he may have other opinions about that, but since 2012 it's been pretty tough for this genre.
I mean, that's me. For me, being from here, being an artist from here, it's a certain style of hip hop that our city don't really just get behind. Of course, if you tapped into the more, like, I guess you could say trap, like heavy like trap, street rap. Like they kind of, anything that's pushing the propaganda, to me, in my honest opinion, and shining a light. You know what I mean? Me being an inner city youth, growing up in the inner city, growing up, in different projects and areas of Dallas. That's kind of what they push and glorify. Anything that's pushing, not necessarily peace or positivity, but just not, money, cars, girls, clothes, gunshots, and things of that nature. Like, I like feel good music. I rap about having fun. I tell a story of where I'm from, but I got vibes.
I see.
And so that's really what I be on. Shout out to Big X the plug. I mean, I really like watching Big X represent Dallas.
Yeah.
Go around doing shows. I just watched him do a show in Colorado, sold out show. And it was amazing to see somebody from the South as well as somebody from Dallas, South Dallas, that is, Pleasant Grove area, Oak Cliff area, to really just kind of push out there and be another big entity outside of Erykah Badu. Because everybody around the world knows Erykah.
Yeah.
And she been opened that door. But, say when it comes to hip hop, it's kind of testy.
I see. And speaking of like sharing your journey, tell me a little bit about your background and how far how do you go with the music? When did you find that passion of yours? Church, man. I mean, church. Growing up, my granny used to wake us up early in the morning on Sundays. Like, yo, if y'all not going to church, you got to get out. And you're like, what? It's like, you got to get out. Like, okay, so Sunday school is at 8 o'clock in the morning, okay? So you're up at 6:30. She's gone at 7:30. If you're not gone with her, you're outside from 7:30 to God knows when. Okay? Okay, serious.
The house is locked.
Okay.
Because she felt like, if you could be at home, you could be at church. But since you want to be at home, let me show you what it's like not to be at home. Like, basically, it's like, everything you have is because of God, And so at the end of the day, it was like, I'm going to go to church.
I see.
And I played drums. So I got into music heavy, playing drums, and just, learning over the years more and more about music. My stepdad kind of took me under his wing and was like, I'm going to take you to Deep Ellum. Where music is kind of like the staple point for, what we do. And I fell in love. I was 14 years old, and I'd have been around some of the greatest musicians, producers, songwriters, singers. I mean, greats. Grammy, like Sean Martin got like 21 Grammys,
Wow.
Sputs, Grammys, RC, Grammys. Like, a lot of my mentors and OGs that took me in, they are like big in the industry. Rest in peace to Daniel Jones. He was Janet Jackson's music director for years. Justin Timberlake's music director. Eminem's music director. I learned how to do a show watching these guys. Sean Martin taught me how to perform.
Wow.
He taught me how to work a crowd, work an audience, interact with your audience. He said, man, you know what? You got what it take to rap. You got the voice, you got the look, you got the image, but you ain't got no content. You need substance. Like, don't just sit on stage and put a bunch of rhyming words together. Give these folks something to think about. Give them folks something to put it on their mind while you rapping. So I used to sit up and just watch the news and read. And I remember you had police shootings, and downtown Dallas had a huge police shooting. And I was one of the first artists who spoke out on it at Freeman Cafe. They were in the middle of marching. They were chunking rocks, everything. I'm on stage. I got the whole building on the standing ovation, like, whoa.
And this is in your teens.
Nah, that was 2016 when they had that happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was probably like 27, 28.
Okay.
I had lived a little, but I've been rapping as far as like on the scene since probably like 19.
Okay.
20. I started out at House of Blues. It's crazy because I got my name from Ja Bourne, which is Erykah Badu's like one of her main producers at the time. And I was doing like rap battles and Cyphers, and he was like, man, you need to name yourself Cypher. And I was like, first of all, this is Ja Bourne.
Yeah.
He's responsible for On and On, Apple Tree, like a lot of different records he was able to put his hands on. So to hear that from him, I was like, man. But when I met Erykah one night after rapping, she was like, you got it. And so later like not too long after that, we was at the spot called Amsterdam at the time, and she was like, what's your name? I was like, well, I go by Cypher Cypher the Suffix. And she was like, your name means this, and this is what this means, and then blew my mind, made me go, do my research and learn more about the number cycle. And, she was like, you know what, Cypher means? I was like, nah. She was like, that's the number 0.
Oh.
And I was like, what's significant about 0? She was like, 0 starts everything.
Oh.
She was like, and 0 is 360 degrees. And she was like, you're the center of your universe. This is your 360 degrees. She just broke it all the way down. Anybody listen to Erica ever got a chance to talk to her, she deep.
Yeah.
She's very, not deep to the point where you're like, this boring. It was like, whoa. She was like, suffix meaning the ending. Like, you're the ending to, like, this is, nobody else can get in front of you. It starts 0, then 1, then 2, then 3. Right. She was like, you jump it off. And that stuck with me.
Yeah.
Heavy. And
I love that. I love that. And so basically, since you were in your teens, your dad basically, I would say, do you think he saw something in you that he
my dad was like, when he finally, like, I had first time he ever heard me rap, he cried. He was crying. He was like,
wow. I just got chills.
He was like, I always knew you was, gonna be something dope, something good, because you can really play drums. But the first time he ever heard me rap, he was like, man, don't you stop. Like, I don't care what you go through, I don't care what obstacles you face, put it on wax, put it out.
I love that. I love that. And I'm sure we're gonna dive in more throughout that whole journey right there, from when you found your passion to where we are here today. For you, Jesse, I'm curious to know, as the founder of JPOS Media, your label, like, what motivated you to get started on it? Because you're also an artist, right? Yeah. Yourself. Yeah. So, and you have multiple hats you're wearing here. So what inspired you to establish your own label?
Well, since nobody was really trying to connect with me in Dallas, like we said on the last talk, I became an artist to learn the industry. And so I released the album, I produced the album, and I learned about how to conform and arrange an album, how to explain your story through all the tracks. So I learned all of that, learned how to build up a business, dealing with the taxes and all that, and royalties and all that, and how to stream your music online and all that. And I was learning. So, but my main passion, it is not to be a rap artist. I became one to learn about how to properly do it.
I see.
All right. So I've been playing music all my life, and I like to compliment artists. When you play a piano with a singer, you're complimenting them as they sing. So that's where my passion is. And so now that I've learned all of that whole business side, I want to make it even grander and bring someone in and push them as I produce music, as I manage, as I make sure that we well represent who we are as an artist and our story.
Yes, I love that. Especially goes right with the saying, if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you go together.
Yeah.
And, you learning, by you wearing multiple hats and starting off with an artist and then learning the business side.
Right.
I mean, that takes time, that takes education, that takes commitment, that takes consistency, and passion.
Oh yeah. And money.
Yeah, for sure. So, like, as a producer, what roles do you have? Like, how many hats do you wear? Like, what does that look like?
I try to not wear many hats because I want to make sure that my mind space is where it needs to be to create music, right? So, like with Cypher, I don't just make beats. When he asked me about beats, I didn't have a lot of beats. I didn't have any beats. I had a few, but it wasn't a lot because I want to study his life, study how he approached life and what matters to him. I get that in my system, and I go to my station, and I just pour that out on the keyboard.
Ooh.
That's what I do. I don't have a big catalog, and people contact me. Hey man, I need some beats. Okay, well let's meet up. Let's have dinner. I want to talk to you, and I want to form the beats around your story. That's what I do. I was talking with Honey Banks, who's a rapper in Dallas, last week about beats, and I went through her TikTok, her Instagram, her Facebook, and I built 5 beats around her story. That's what I do. You know, so when Cypher has an idea, when he has a passion or emotion, I build off of that, and I go home. My wife can tell you, and I make beats around stuff he feed off of me. You know, I can't just sit into a room with nothing and make beats. Well, this may be good for somebody. That's not who I am.
Yeah, so it's meaningful.
I have to collab and know a person to make beats, and then I don't just do loops. I like intros. I like to build a beat around a verse. I like, breaks. I like when to switch up, so I'm not the ordinary producer. But that's why I can't do beat stars. I can't do any of that because I want to complement the artist.
I see. Your focus is on the artist.
And the story is important.
Yes.
You can't put your story on any beat.
Right.
So you gotta know a rapper, What did he like? What did he like to drink,
Yeah.
Did he like to watch, ladies walk the street, you know what I'm saying? Did he like to enjoy life and, do boats and, all of that makes sense.
Yes.
And you put that in the beat.
Yeah, so I love how you're describing how you're unique, how you're different, how you're helping build up the team and push sci-fi and make sure that the people, the audience throughout the world gets to hear sci-fi, right? So speaking a little bit about your label, because I think it's huge with both of you, what would you say some of the advantages? Because Cyfa could have gone to Sony or tried pushing something, some big.
Absolutely.
So what are the some of the primary advantages or disadvantages with an independent label?
I care. I care about his family. I care about him. I care about his safety.
I knew as I said. I care.
And
they go a long way.
And being an artist, Myra, is very tough. I'm gonna tell you why. You can watch people who travel the world and their gift is taking pictures. They get their backpack, their camera, and they'll travel the world taking pictures. You don't make money off of that. Somebody is supporting that guy or that girl who's traveling to create art.
Right.
Artists need support.
Ooh.
And people think we be begging. I'm like, you can't be an artist without support.
Right.
Right? So as you go and create, someone has to support you, get you there, give you all the tools, everything you need. And then when you get it done, you present that, and then you can live off of it. Yes.
Right? Yes. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Makes so much sense. It's like, just anything that it has growth. I mean, it needs a team. It needs support. It needs funding. It needs, feedback.
Yeah, I just wonder why support. Always people kind of frown on that that term. They look at the word support. You put it on your Instagram post, they like bag off away from it. Support is a good thing.
Yes, right. No, agreed. And Cyfa, from your perspective, what do you value most about Jesse's contributions?
I mean, like you said, the fact that he cared, that's the first thing. Because, like I say, it take a lot for a person to put themselves to the side to see somebody else's vision.
I see, right? Because you mentioned you've been around for a long time. You've been in the industry. You've worked with a lot of wonderful people. So have you had the opportunity to collaborate with others in the past in the same level here with Jesse?
Man, I got a chance to collaborate, man, with a lot of people from country, rock, pop, gospel. Johnny Cooper, who was signed to Tim McGraw a couple years back, we was able to go on tour together. I was able to do DFW Reggae, DFW All-Star Reggae Band. We toured the country together. Me and Fred Hammond, who's a huge, big gospel artist. I worked with him. I got songs with him. Connected to... I connected to a lot of people, Jill Scott, Erica, Dave Chappelle. I got an opportunity to perform in front of him. I've been blessed as an artist.
Yeah.
I'm being a live entertaining artist is totally different from being an industry artist.
Oh, how so?
Cause being on that stage is what make you. It's not being in a studio creating. That's just one, like 10% of it. It's like, okay, after you get the music recorded, you gotta go on tour. How's your show? How are you on stage? Do you have stage fright? Can you interact with the audience? Are you jokeable? Can you know what I mean? Like, can you fit in any genre, any race, any age bracket? You know, I perform for kids. I perform for the elderly. I perform for people in their teens. I perform for 20s. Like, are you relatable? Like, you know, I just came from Austin, and you know, it was a different audience, a different type of crowd. I didn't know if they was gonna be receptive to hip hop. What the difference between me and being any other artist? I don't just do hip hop. I do music.
Ooh.
And so I took. I'm just a lonely boy living in a lonely world.
Yeah.
I did that over hip hop, and the whole audience was like, "Oh, whoa!"
That fusion, it's
like
crazy.
he really.
Yeah.
He really did it.
Did he just do Bon Jovi over? You know what I mean? Like,
Wow.
making my way downtown, walking. I did that over a hip hop beat, and they was like,
whoa.
You know, shout out to my partner in crime, Polo the Vibe. Like,
Yeah.
he'll tell you, man, he be in my ear on stage. Like, yo, sing this. And we'll sing something, and they like, wait, y'all doing hip hop foundation, but y'all singing country, pop, rock. We'll do anything.
I see. That's what you mean when you say you do music.
Yeah, entertaining. Like, people like, you a rapper? I rap, but I'm an entertainer. I do comedy. I do it all. Like, I mean, I like the audience. I love a crowd. I love people, you know, to a certain degree.
And what would you say some of the most significant lessons, you know, working with so many people, doing this for so long, what stands out? What are those lessons for any, say, artists that
know your business. Know your business. Know what you contributing, know what's being put into you, know what's going on. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to call. You know? Don't be afraid to speak up for yourself. A lot of artists to sit back and just, you know, let things happen. And then when stuff starts, like, my biggest lesson I ever learned, I put out a huge record in 2020. Worked with some people that is family to me. And we was connected to some other people, and the other people didn't do business the right way with us. We didn't know business at the time. From that point on, I speak on it. I did a record call, I'm on the way. My brother tied me into another producer. We was working at one of the main studios, huge studio, and we put out a huge record to the point where it made a lot of noise, put a music video out. The whole time, I didn't own anything from the record. I just owned my writers. They only gave me 25%, and I wrote my own song. From that point on, I was like, I got to learn the business. My Uncle King, who's worked with every artist known to man in the industry from Michael Jackson, he was at the session. He was like, stop keeping your mouth closed. Open your mouth. Find out what you're getting out this record. Find out your percentages. Find out what are you signing. Ask questions. And so now it's like, I trust him. And he'll call me, hey, where you want this to go? Send me your information. I need to know when all this is done, well, you know, how you want your royalties.
Right.
Like, hey, what's your BMI? I need your BMI. I need to make sure you get your writers. That's important because dealing with a label, like, you don't, it's just get in, record, and, you know, you deal with all that after the fact.
Right.
And as an artist, I want all artists to listen. Please tune in. Just because you record an album or lay a record, you're not gonna see no major money from that unless you're doing millions and millions of streams. Your money come from touring. Know how to put on a show.
Oh.
Yeah.
Know how to perform. Not with a DJ. That's so simple and easy. People talk about me all the time like, why you always want a band? Because I can give you, imagine me doing your favorite song with a DJ, and when it's over. And you're looking at the DJ, run it back.
Right.
No, but imagine doing it with a band whose energy is high and your energy is high, and the whole building, and you able to not just do your song, but take take one of their favorite songs and do it in the mix of doing your song. It's crazy.
Right.
You like, bro, he's doing his record, but he just did this song with, like, whoa.
Yes.
Now it turns into full-fledged like production, full-fledged show.
Yeah.
Something you can remember, you know?
Remember, yes, definitely. It's kind of like watching a Super Bowl on TV versus in person. The energy.
Right. Right.
It's this, something that's been pre-recorded and run it again versus the artist and knowing what they're doing. And not only that, but being great, right? So I would say, like, what are some of the most, say, significant lessons, you have learned just overall with, from producing to working? I know you mentioned trust. Trust is a big thing with people. Like anything in business, right? In real estate, you want to work with somebody you trust.
Yeah.
Any kind of business you get into, you
Right.
want to work with somebody you trust.
People that's not afraid to, you know, teach you business. A lot of people won't teach you. A lot of people be like, oh, he don't know. Let me, I can pretty much run anything by him,
Yeah.
And artists go through that. As artists, we deal with that a lot because we don't know the business. We don't know, what we signing. You get a 360 deal with 360 deal work is everything you touch, I get a percentage of. You sign I did a 60-40 split. That's cool. But, do you own your creative content? Like, are you openly creative? What I love about being under this label is, like, I got creative control. It's like, hey, I want to do this. Okay, cool. Let's do it. It's like, and that's big because I have a million emotions. So one day I might want to make a Drake Field song, or I might want to do a grungy vibe, or like I can do that. Like we sat in the studio, I want to say the last writer session we had, and we had so many vibes in there. It was like,
it was crazy.
And it kind of pushed that level of, oh, okay, he really,
Yeah.
I think we both seen a different side of each other. It was like, oh, this can really go deeper than just
crazy.
Hip hop. This can really be, we can really turn some stuff up in here. And that was huge for me.
Yeah, I can feel the passion. I mean, there's just so much to unpack here. I'm curious to know what some of the biggest inspirations you've had.
Ooh. I done had a lot of inspiration. I think it's the fans for me. It's the people that, like, being at Walmart in Frisco and somebody walk up on you like, yo, ain't you Cypher, right? You're like, yeah. Like, yo, I watched you perform at Lava Cantina and, man, you was amazing. You like, whoa.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, you out to eat. Weirdest thing ever, this weird. I got pulled over by the police one night, speeding. And as I get pulled over, I'm like, man, I knew it wasn't gonna be no problems or anything, but I pulled over and he was like, license registration. He got the flashlight on, and he flashed the light. He like, your name's Cypher? I was like, yes, sir. He was like, man, I watch you perform at Freeman all the time. Man, you incredible. Man, what's going on? Why you speeding? I was like, man, look, I just want to get home. It's late. He was like, man, slow down. He was like, man, I'm not even going to mess with you, man. I'm a fan. And that blew me away.
That's
like,
dope.
That really blew me away. Like,
wow. Yeah.
He was like, man, be careful. Like, be careful, man. Anybody else, they'll stop you. He was like, man, I respect your art, your music. Like, I ain't going to give you no problems, man. Don't get where you got to get to.
Wow.
And from that point, honestly, from that night, I was like, I gotta really, I gotta do this for real. Like, and I stepped away from my job, not just because of the stress, but it was like, yo, I'm an artist. Like, this is what I do. This is what I need to do. This is my calling. This is my walk. Like, I eat, breathe, and sleep this. When I get up in the morning, I don't go to Walmart without my chains on because I feel like that's a part of me. I'm an artist. Like, you got to have the look, the talk, the everything. And it's like you hear so many people compare you to different other artists. It's like, okay, man, forget the comparison. This is who I am. And so now my mindset is, I'm Big Cypher. I'm the artist.
Yeah.
The legend from Dallas, Texas.
Yes.
And that's how I view myself.
I love that. And Jesse, I know we touched base on our last podcast, which anybody's more than welcome to go back and check out your full life story there.
Yeah.
But can you tell us again what has inspired you to do what you do?
It kind of changes over time. Right now, what inspires me is the fact that I can always start back over.
Mm.
I can always start back over. It doesn't matter what is going on, how tough it is. If I don't like it or the outcome, I can start back over and try it again. You know, if you have breath in your body and you have the ability to create, and you can do it, start over and try it again. Just don't quit. Like I said, you have to continue, right?
Right.
And
Right.
anybody who continues is going to always make it. You cannot stop. So that's what inspires me. I can always start back over and keep going.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. I love that so much, and for you, Cypher, you have a style. You mentioned about you were Cypher, like forget this BS in comparison. So, what would you say, like who or what inspired your style?
Oh man, it varies because I grew up listening to A-Ball, MJG, UGK. I had my era where I liked Cameron and the Diplomats, Jay-Z all day long. Hove, like I had every Hove album known to man. Mixtape, Drake, of course Drake. When I first heard Drake, I was like, okay, rap is totally changed in a great way because he came with his flavor is just different. T.I., I really like T.I.'s smoothness to the microphone. Jadakiss lyrical ignorance. He was just lyrically ignorant. DMX had the most grunge you could ever want in hip hop. All the way fast forward to, like I say, Big X the Plug, listening to him. I'm like, I get happy listening to him. My son, we be in the car, we from Texas, period. You have to know that. And so, like, just like, vibing with him. Locally, Seven the Great, who's one of a great hip hop artists out of Dallas and a lyrical monster. Muhammad, he's out of Dallas. QP out of Dallas. Like, these is cats I have the privilege of walking around the corner from a venue I'm performing, and they got their own, thing going on. They throwing their own show. These is other independent artists that I like to shout out and scream to. Honey Banks, she's ignorant right now. She's going extremely hard from acting to artistry, and that's one of my next endeavors I want to tap into is acting. These are people that I had the privilege of just kind of sitting back and watching, and just kind of knowing.
Yeah.
I got P Black calling me right now. Shout out to my writer, P Black. I'm not going to answer the phone. We live on air. But P Black, I mean, these is people I had a chance. Jeremiah, who produced I'm on the Way, originally with me. My Uncle King, who was under Timberland for years, responsible for Icebox, where my heart used to be.
Yes.
Omarion. I mean,
I
RC,
love that.
rest in peace to Daniel Jones. I mean, these is people that inspired Cypher, the growth of Cypher, Big Cypher. Can't forget Sean Martin, who's in recovery right now. He went through a tragic situation. They could have claimed his life, but, I appreciate God for, allowing him to still hold on and continue.
Yeah.
So he's recovering. But that man there taught me how to put on a show.
Yeah. So you basically took pieces of all of these people.
Everybody. Kendrick Lamar. I don't know if anybody remember Kendrick Lamar performing at the Grammys. First time I ever heard him do the Grammys. And it was like, whoa. Lil Wayne at the Grammys. Like, these was live. Jay-Z watching rappers perform with a live band.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wiz Khalifa, Pharrell Williams, watching these guys. First of all, live music is not easy. All right? It's a difference from going in the studio and somebody pressing play and pressing record.
Right.
But when you got a live band, that's parts, that's instrumentation, that is drums, keys, bass, guitar, horns. Mentally, you have to be able to adapt to what's going on with them. Right?
Yeah, because there's no pause, redo.
Ain't no, hey, go back, rewind.
Right.
No, it's...
Yeah, it's live. And on top of that, learning or knowing how to put on a show, how to entertain people, how to keep people looped in and following and just wanting more when they say, hey, that this is the last one.
Yeah, Fred Hammond taught me character. I appreciate Fred Hammond for that. Fred Hammond taught me character, and he taught me, whatever you do, don't you stop rapping. And he was like, I don't care if you forget your lyrics. You better mumble, but don't you stop rapping. And
Yes.
taking that, watching myself perform before I met Fred, and then watching myself after meeting Fred, it's a big difference. Because it was times in the show where it would be, we called it gray area, where, you know, ain't no music playing, you just like, all right, what's next? And they like, come on, man, you gotta interact with the crowds. You gotta talk to your audience. You gotta, you know, like, ain't we trying to figure out what we finna do next? Crack some jokes, dude. From that point on, I was like, watching him perform, he would crack jokes. It's 30,000 people in a convention center.
Yeah.
And you looking around, and, you know, they transitioned, and we had a sound issue where we transitioned through songs, and something happened. This man started cracking, like, he started telling jokes. You know, this is a gospel artist, and of course he's doing it in a clean manner, but it was like, oh man, you know, people was engaging, and so I took that. I did. I went. I had my show that Thursday at Freeman, and we went on that. We had that gray area, and I was like, yeah, man, the more you drink, the better here she starts to look. The whole building erupted. And my brother like, bro, keep going, like keep talking. And I just started talking about life. I just started cracking jokes about kids. Then I started messing with people in the audience, like, oh, you decided to wear orange in May. All right. Why did you do that? Like, and people like, oh,
yes,
like, yo, you really good. Like, keep going. So now it's like, all right, I don't want to do no live shows no more. Like, not saying I don't want to do it. I don't want to do what I've been doing. Not like a chilling circuit type situation, but I don't want to be doing what I've been doing. I'm ready to be a real artist. Like, I'm ready to tap into a bigger market, a more mainstream market. I'm ready to go full-fledged all in. I feel like I've earned my stripes. I've given. I've blood, sweat, and tears. Now I know my purpose. Like, okay, I have my own lane. You know,
you're
I'm
ready
not,
for the next level.
Like, I'm ready to, you know,
keep going up that ladder. That we were talking about before, of course. Yes. So, Jesse, you know, I'm curious from your perspective, how has the genre of rap evolved since the 1970s? You know, a lot of artists, as Cyfa here was mentioning earlier, and how is it compared to today?
For me, how it was back then, I think they were really engulfed in things that was going on in society during that time, and they rapped about it, you know, and they were very conscience-minded, you know, and so back then it started with just basically sampling with the vinyl, and they rapping over vinyl records, right? Then they kind of switched up, you know, they got a little bit more lax. It went to the West Coast. They brought in synthesizers and all that. And then it went to gangster, and then, you know, and then a little more R&B, hip-hop kind of joined together, you know. I like for hip-hop to do all of that. I like for an album to have a conscious minded effort into it, and then also tracks for the party and for the dance floor. You know, something for the ladies. You know, we have to have all that in that. So it was a big journey for hip hop. Hip hop is a very, very broad variety of certain styles. When you say hip hop, you have to really explain what you're talking about, because it's very different. There are different ways you can do hip hop.
How so?
Well, you have one artist like like for example, I tell my wife when we out, you know, driving on the road, you know, doing road trips, whatever. I always start with Jay-Z, Nas, all these cats that can spit. They got words in every second, right? And then my ears get tired of all those words. So I want to go to some party. So I'll pull up Metro Booming or Paraborn or Playboy Cardi. These people don't have a lot of lyrics. They just, you know, hey. You know?
Yeah, right.
I like that. I can vibe to it. And then later on, I go back to lyricists, you know, Jay-Z, Nas. But I can only do it for about 45 minutes.
I see. Yeah, I see. Okay, so you know we've came such a long way. So for you, Jesse, as far as like collaborating with others, like I'm curious to know, like, what are some of the key things for an artist to have?
Number one, don't let anything get in the way of you collabing with somebody that you think you can really connect with and make good music with. People are so picky and they overthink everything, you know, and then they have, well, you know, this feature call, this you know, for a feature is $500 or $1,000 or, you know, whatever. For a beat is, you know, $500. But if you know that you can work with an artist and you all can gel well, don't let anything, money, nothing get in the way of making that music. Make the music and just make the music. You know, keep talking, negotiate, whatever you got to do. Make the music, because right now people are all about themselves. You know, do it yourself. Do it yourself recording. Do it yourself, you know, do your own album. You know, DistroKid, just do it yourself. It's always about the team. You got to have a good team.
Right.
You need a team, right? So it doesn't matter what the cost is. Keep talking about it, you know, discuss, and make sure you make the music.
So, you know, just from hearing you, you know, wanting to build a team, you know, are you open to collaborating with other artists here in Dallas?
I am always open. Listen, I put out a post a few months ago before me and Cypher started this. I said, hey, I want to do a dance album with a bunch of artists in Dallas. I'll finance it. I'll do all that. Let's go get it done. Nobody called me.
Nobody.
And I did that like 4 times. You know, nobody called. I'll finance it. I'll produce it. I'll distribute it, whatever. You know, nobody called.
You know, there's so much like talent. Like I think it's like 24 million people just here in DFW. Like, what do you think it's missing? That connection, that link, because there's a lot of talent. I mean, 24 million people just in DFW. That's like a lot, right?
Yeah.
So why do you think maybe some maybe don't have the courage, or maybe the hesitation, kind of like Cypher did at the beginning when you hit him up, except he was brave enough to say, let's give it a shot. You know, like, why do you think other artists just wouldn't take up on such wonderful opportunity?
Well, I don't know is my real answer, but you know, I think it could be trauma. Some people have went through a lot in their life, right? And so if they went through a lot, you know, in their homes or whatever, been messed over, you know, many times, they may not trust working with anybody. All right. So I don't take no personally. People tell me no all the time. You know, I say, okay, I get my whiskey and I drink and I say bye.
Right. Move on to the next.
Yeah, I mean, people have reasons to say no. I mean, whatever your reason is, I respect it. Right? But you have to like jump off the ledge and just try it sometimes. And I do that all the time. And you know, I do it all the time. And then if it don't work out, I scratch it off, you know, I keep moving, I start over and try to build a bigger path that fits my journey.
Yeah.
I do not quit. You said no, but I'm gonna keep going.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, but people are afraid too because they don't trust you enough yet.
Don't know you.
Don't know you. You know, you ain't from here. This dude funny. You know what I'm saying? So they have all kind of reasons.
Oh, okay.
But I like to sit and learn a person. I took this guy out. And we had dinner and we talked.
Yeah.
And I saw his passion, and he was talking. I was learning, right, about how I can make him bigger, right. So I think people should invest time in other people. You can't do it always on IG. You got to turn off your phone, go meet up, go have some drinks, and talk about your vision.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
He big on that.
I do that all the time.
He big on that. He like, yo, like, man, let's sit down and get something to eat. And it ain't no we finna go to Cheddar's. Like, no, he want to sit down. He want to show you, like, yo, what I got to bring to the table. Like, we can eat good like this all the time if you really to work.
Yeah.
And I mean, it ain't a time that went by. I mean, this wife, she probably a top chef. So if she not cooking, we eating somewhere. If we not eating somewhere, she cooking. And I mean, like, the bond is, like, I was big on that. Like, I got a chance to work with a lot of people. And for me, to answer your question, what is, you know, basically what you just asked him. For us as artists, when you've been pushed up to a certain point and dropped so many times, you know what I'm saying? It's like lifting weights.
Right.
It's like you get that bar, you add that weight on there, and you like, and after a while you kind of realize, like, okay, like, man, so they're like, man, come on, lift. No, I don't want to.
Yeah.
And for me, I was at a point where I was like, all right, I'm getting older, I'm ready to stop doing music. And it wasn't even just ready to stop. I just felt like I ain't fit. It's like, I don't want to keep being on stage night in, night out for $100, $150. Like, I want to be a real artist. But when you telling people that and they only view you from one way, that's all they know you as. They don't want to give you a chance. Or not people like, man, you know all these people and all this. Why they ain't gave you a shot? Because they view me a certain way. Of, oh man, that's Cypher from Free Man. He saw it, but he was like, nah, you really got what it take. And they all feel the same way. But nobody was in position to say, hey, let me invest in you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I ain't asked this man, well, man, how much money you got? How much? I didn't ask no questions. When he said, bro, let's work, I was like, all right, let's do it. And something spiritually felt like, bro, do it. Because don't get me wrong, I went to myself, when we had a talk, I left and I was talking, I was like, man, you know, is this something you really want to continue doing?
Yeah.
Like, you've been here so many times.
Yeah.
You done been in the studio. You done recorded, you done had, man, you should have been did an album. You should have. With him, it was like, all right, just let me know when you're ready.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Like, and when I hit him, I'm like, bro, you know, let's do it, what I need to do. She was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
And we talk, if not every day, every other day, whether it be via text or I pick up the phone and say, man, I'm bored. What y'all got going? Man, we woo, blase. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a small, detailed person. I don't care about big stuff. I tell people all the time, man, I'm simple. Only thing I like is my jewelry, my shoes, and my hats. That's it. I don't care. I can go to Target and buy me an outfit. I don't care. As long as the rest of that, and that's how he is.
Yep.
He detailed. You know what I mean? Where you would look at him like most people look at me like, man, I don't know, man, who is that? I was like, don't worry about it. You'll see.
Yeah. Yeah.
You gonna see. I promise you, the world gonna know.
Yes. You know, I think, you know, you guys have touched base so much on like that relationship building, which, I mean, in anything, relationship building is huge. And you certainly have that recipe down with relationship building. And I love that because, you know, so you mentioned after talking to him, you trusted him. So that trust was built. And so, you know, to you saying, you know, you put out such a great opportunity for other people to come and show their talent, but maybe it's because maybe that trust hasn't been their trauma, right? In the past.
Right.
So, you know, I hope that people can really see that you guys are serious. You as a producer, you're willing to invest in the artist that's willing to invest.
Right. Absolutely.
As well.
Yeah.
And build that trust and build Dallas and make a name out of that, right? So, you know, Cyfa, you mentioned earlier that, you know, you got kind of tired of, you know, those nights performing at places for $150. So had you considered yourself like maybe just like establishing in one place? Has that ever been in your experience?
When I first started, I was like, I'm getting established out of like let me first say this. To be a rapper with his own residency is bigger than anything you could imagine.
That's tough, Myra. A rapper doing that is tough.
I've been at Freeman's and people make fun of me. Oh, man, you been at Freeman. I've tapped into the world. Don't get me wrong. I done traveled this entire I done traveled to the United States. I done been to venues in Arizona and performed in front of crowds I didn't even think was gonna show up. I done been in Miami performing. I done been a lot of different places. Nebraska, Connecticut. I done been to some places and performed. But first of all, to have a residency, a consistent residency, is hard. Because each week they come in to see you and you gotta have something to give. I've been at Freeman since 2012. It's 2024. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's 12 years of a residency. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't respect that, and I'm perfectly fine with it. But to the ones that know, they look at me like, bro, you're him. Like, you're a king. Like, we value your thought process, your opinion. Like, it's dope when you step in places and they like, hey, there goes Cypher. Everybody clear out. There goes, you know, when you walk into a venue and they like, oh, Cypher done hit the building. Hey, man, come to the stage. Like, yo, this your show. But they like, yo, nah. Like, you are Jay-Z. Like, you are big guy here. And so constantly hearing that, and I remember how Jay-Z's story started. Jay-Z had a residency. And the night he did his live album release, he put on a suit. He put on a tuxedo.
Mm.
That was the last night he performed in that residency because, like, not too long after that, he was able to build. So when I look at our story, it's like we starting our own Rockefeller Records.
Mm.
You know, he already had J. Posey. When he died, when he dropped Southern Crops, I was like, what's that? He was like, oh, man, you know, this is, no. That need to be it. And I have this thing where when I see it, hear it, whatever, like I named a lot of different artists in Dallas. Their names have been ringing for past 10 years, and they'll tell you, oh, Cypher named me. Like, it's an artist by the name of Aswaf Hainsworth. He's a very dope funk, jazz, fusion artist, you know. I named him Aswaf Hainsworth because of his fashion. If you know who Bentley Farnsworth is, he's the guy in like all the like preppy suits with the umbrellas. He dressed like that for years. And I was like, bro, you remind me of Bentley Farnsworth. I'm gonna call you Aswaf Hainsworth. And he was like, oh man, I really love that name. And he stuck to that still to this day, you know? And so having the capability of hearing and knowing something like, yo, I get what you saying, but run with that. And so I was like, yo, that Southern Crops hit. He was like, oh man, you know, but this Jay, I say, no, I'm not taking nothing you got going from what you already doing. But Southern Crops, that's something I want to be a part of. Like, if you make that a label, put me as your headline artist.
Yeah.
And I crack jokes because he was like, I don't want to manage. I ain't managing no artist. I'm going to keep telling this story until the day we win a Grammy. And the day we win a Grammy, I'm going to look at him and say, Jesse, you remember you said you didn't want to manage an artist? Because that's what he do. Management ain't just putting you in position, putting you in places. Managing is like really, hey, outside of music, how you doing? You like, he texts me one day randomly, hey man, your health is important. Take care of yourself. Like, make sure you're doing right by yourself. Right. Everything else is dope. For me, that's a small detail where I had to, okay, well, let me, 1, 2, 3, 4, make sure I'm, like, that's important to me. And so Southern Crops felt like Rockefeller to me. Like, okay, you don't know it right now, but one day it's gonna be it's coming. Now Jay got Rock Nation.
It's coming.
You go from Rockefeller to now Rock Nation. The word nation that's big.
That includes all.
Yes. And so that's how I look at Southern Crops.
Okay.
It's like I look at Southern Crops like Rockefeller Records, like, I'm Hove, just Dame. This is Guru.
You got to explain to her what Southern Crops mean, because I started that as a marketing company.
Mm-hmm.
And J Pasta Media was my label. And Cypher like, no, we got to switch it. So I'm like, no, I'm not switching it. Southern Crops is my marketing company, and J Pasta Media is the label. He said, no, man, that Southern Crops need to be our name for our music. And so I have a business partner now who's helping me run all this, and he's also helping out Cypher as well. And he has a management company. And he came to me, he said, Jesse, Southern Crops should be your label. That should be your name. So announcement, our new label is Southern Crops.
Southern Crops.
Southern Crops.
Southern. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that because it like just in that name, you can feel so much history and where it's coming from, and
our motto is harvesting brands.
Harvesting,
brands.
The crops, harvesting, so it all ties in with the growth and I love that. Logan, could you please refill our wine bottles, our glasses here? Maybe some more whiskey too.
However you made it, the splash of water, it was perfect.
And Jesse had the Stella Rose.
I knew I tasted it before.
Yeah, I'm fine. So just earlier we were talking about the establishing your performance in certain locations, residency.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say some of the pros and cons are?
Man, so it's like,
good question.
Ooh, that was a wonderful question. The pros and cons to having a residency is being overly accessible.
Okay.
Imagine you being this great entity, and you can always be reached, always be touched. And me, I was an attention seeker. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, man, everybody got to know who I am. I got to perform at everybody's show. Like I would literally walk into people's shows and just like make myself seen, so they'd be like, man, come get on stage. And once I get on stage, I'm taking over your entire show for the next 5 to 10 minutes. And I'm going to turn your entire audience up so hard that when I walk off stage, they're going to be like, bring him back now. Period. And so that was my thing. And it was like, but the con to it was like, okay, you know, we know what you're going to do.
Yeah.
All right. And people would be like, yo, don't put him on stage. Like, nah. I'm glad you here. I'm glad you came. But I've had an artist tell me, man, I was excited to see you, man. I love you, but I was not finna put you on stage with me. He was like, I wasn't finna let you do that to me. I was like, what you mean? He was like, bro, do you understand the dynamic you have over a room, the atmosphere you create over a room? Bro, as soon as you get on the mic, ain't no turning back.
Oh.
And to me, it was like, dang. Like I felt bad. I'm like, man, I need to work on me. He was like, no, bro, you need to be greater. Like, when you hear that, you know, but then it'd be like, oh yeah, man, that's Cypher. You know? You can see him Thursday at Free Man. You're like, dang. Like, that's it? Like, yeah, bro, I mean, you ain't got no album, you ain't doing nothing. If they want to see you, check you out on Thursday. Don't get me wrong, Thursday nights had a line wrapped around it. I done touched people from Germany, Australia, the UK, China. I had a whole people, they was out on tour just in the United States, came to Dallas, looked up places to go hang out on Thursday night, and my band pops up, The Found. Shout out to Marcus Jones. And we would have a line wrapped around the building, live show.
Correct.
First of all, I am a freestyle artist. My shows is from the top of my head, right then and there at that very moment. So you got a packed room, you got a whole band on stage, and everybody looking at you like, man, this dude 6'3" with all these tattoos, he look mean as hell. What he finna do? And you go take over a whole stage for the next 2.5, 3 hours. And at the end of the night, people like, bro, I want to kill myself. And just listening to you tonight,
wow,
like, bro, you gave me a whole new perspective on life. You never know who, what, when, where, and how was there. And that was my thing. That's the pros. And like I said, the con come from just being overly, oh, I can go see him on Thursday.
Right.
You know, you be like, hey, I got this show over here. We don't want to see you over there. We want to see you on your stage Thursday. And it's like, come on, y'all, I'm doing this at Dada. Yeah, that's cool. I'll be there Thursday. So it got to a point where it's like, if I wanted to do something, I had to do it on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Because I already knew what the turnout was going to be. I knew everybody and their mom was going to come out. And for me, I was like, man, I don't want to always be like this. Like, I want to be able to do a show on a Friday or a Saturday and it had the same turnaround. But it was like, nah, that Thursday night, Freeman Cafe, like, that's you.
Yeah.
And for a long time, I couldn't break that.
Right. Yeah. I guess it sounds like you kind of get stuck.
What?
You know, your growth kind of it's limited in some sense.
I mean, you have everybody. I mean, we've had so many artists on tour, comedians, actors, athletes. Everybody would come to watch us perform, but that was it. It was just there.
Right.
And it's a 50 billion other place to perform. But you can't tap that market because they want to see you here. Now it's, okay, yeah, we want, wherever you got to show it, we want to come. But it was, you at Freeman's tonight? No? All right, yeah, I'm going to be over here. Nah, that's cool. I know you're going to kill it, but I want to see you there. And it was like, man, come on, bro. You know?
Right.
So that was the pro and con to it.
I see. You know, and I so many times here that we've had conversations like my skin just like spikes up, like, so like I feel the passion. Talk about energy, right? So I'm wondering, where does your big why come from? Like your passion, your big why. Where does that, like, where does that come from?
You know what? It's just a mood, man. You know, I can't even lie to you, Myra. It's a mood. Like, it's a mood. Cause I amaze myself at times. When I walk in and look at, like I said, I went to Austin, and I was like, okay, I don't know if they're gonna, be receptive to what I'm doing, but I'm gonna, and then you get the show started, and literally everybody stops what they doing, and the whole crowd's attention is on you. And they was like, we've heard about you. We've seen videos. We already know what you're about. Come on, do your thing. And I did it. And at the end of the night, you taking pictures and signing autographs, and they treating you like, you know, you are that. You literally are that. It's just different stages of it.
Yeah.
And I get energy from just, you know, I want to put on one damn good show. I want to put on one hell of a show. I want to be, when it's all said and done, I want to be known as one of the greatest entertainers of all time, not just the artist.
It's gonna happen.
Like, I want to be known as, like, yo, he's a real, he's a rapper, songwriter, but no, he's an entertainer. And for me, that's where I get my energy from, you know, and just knowing, like, it's people that want to be where I'm at. You can't take that for granted. There's people that want to be as big as you. You might think, man, I ain't big enough. Well, other people looking at you like, bro, I don't know what you talking about, but I've had my friends like, bro, you know who you are? Like, we done went to venues, and I'm like, oh, that's Cypher. Who you got? Oh, I got 3 people with me. Oh, y'all come in. Hey, make sure they good. And they looking at you like
a superstar.
Bro, like, we just got into such concert. They didn't ask for no badges or nothing. Like, are we good? And my little brother, every time it blow his mind, because he be like, my big brother, Cyfa Fix. Like, I'm sorry. Like, bro, that's amazing to me.
Yeah.
And I had to look at him like, bro, I'm still your brother. He's like, yeah, I know. Like, we same blood, same mama, everything. But to me, you big Cypher. Like, you that guy.
Yeah.
And so you have to kind of like check yourself. Like, bro, yeah, you him. You got to be that. You can't be him Monday through Thursday and then the other days you trying to, like, nah, you got to be him 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. You got to be that. I'm at work. I work. My job be like, yo, when you got another show? When the album drop? Like, they don't care nothing about what my occupation is. They like, bro, this is just, my boss told me the other day, she said, I made your schedule flexible for you, so if you ever need to do something, you can do it.
Nice.
Yeah.
She's like, I know what you want. I want you to accomplish that. You know what I mean? She was like, so don't worry. If you got to miss a day or whatever, you go on tour, just know you're making money while you're gone. And when you come back, you got a place to come clock in if you need to. This is your right now. But she's like, yo, you one hell of an artist.
You know, that says so much about you, not just as an artist, where, you know, we can see your talent on a screen, but that says a lot about your character. You know, how others are treating you, how others see you. And also, as, you know, even the ripple effects, like you mentioned, you know, you're a big influence to your family, and you're creating opportunities, and you're at the same time that you're elevating yourself, you're elevating them. They can see at the distance the possibilities, and you're that example of hard work and dedication and the grit of just going and figuring it out, and opening yourself to possibilities. So, you know, what would you say, like, as far as, you know, we mentioned all the impact you've done in the business world, you know, how has your family just kind of reacted, or how have they been an influence in your life?
I mean, my family
And you were
amazing.
theirs.
My family is amazing. You know, shout out to my entire family. Shout out to my kids, my lady. Shout out to everybody. You know, my mom is probably. I sent her a song the other day. She hit me back like, man, it's crazy. My mom is a huge supporter of my music. Like, that's the crazy thing. She was like, if I would have known you was gonna be this good when you was young, I would have, you know, had you doing this a long time ago. You know, but she's like, she inspired me because my mom has her own business. I watched my mama build her business from the ground up, struggle, you know, sacrifice. She been doing that all her life. And so to see where she at now and how she's doing with her products, and, you know, she still sit and hand make her products.
Wow.
She has them on shelves. Her product is on shelves at different places, but she still hand makes her product.
Wow.
You know, she still go door to door, still load her car up by herself, load her car up with all her product, go sit down at the Deep Ellum Market and sales out.
Wow. Shout out. I mean, that's definitely such an example. You know, what kind of products does she have? How can people find her and support her?
So I'm gonna go to Instagram so you guys will know.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Cause my mom is amazing, and I gotta make sure that I shout mom out. Wrapped in Stone, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you go tap in. You know, Lady Dion Stafford. A lot of y'all know it's Camellia. That's my mother. Wrapped in Stone. It's on a lot of different shelves. Pan African. You can catch it at the Deep Ellum Market. Like, she's everywhere. She'll drive to you if she needs to. But that's my mother. I love my mother to death. Wrapped in Stone. Make sure that you guys, as you watch, go on Instagram, Facebook, follow Wrapped in Stone, and order body butters, fragrance for men and women, lotions, soaps, skin products. Things right now. She was like, I'm working on a men's cologne, and I need you to come to the house and test out my cologne. And I was like, all right, cool. You know, and she just, anything done out of love, I think you should give it a chance. And that's what she does.
Anything made out of love. You know, that's so true. That's definitely true. You know, I think parents are definitely, of course, they're our first teachers, right? So shout out to your mom for being the first example of like working on the craft that she loves, and putting herself out there and teaching you what love and work and passion is. You know, Jesse, I'm curious to know, you know, as a producer and entrepreneur, what legacy do you wish to leave behind in your industry?
Well, he's already done it. He got a son that's an amazing producer already. I can't. When it come to their kids, man, I love their kids, man. I'm not even gonna lie. Their kids is just as creative as they are. I know he's got to answer the question, but I had to butt in.
Yeah, no.
Because y'all got to understand, man, his kids, like, their whole family, period, is dope to me. Because you will see him, he's doing what he does, but his wife is right there. She cooking, she's shooting film, she giving her input, and she's an artist, you know, songwriter. His kids, they all creative, and you know what I mean? I tell him all the time, like, yo, bring the kids. He'll be like, Cypher. I'm like, no, you got to bring the kids. Your kids is amazing. Bring the kids.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's real.
Yeah. Yeah. What about from your perspective?
Legacy.
That's
Kids,
beautiful.
Kids is legacy, right? Because they have your last name, right? So you want them to be well off and appreciate all that you did for them. But once we make it, because we're gonna make it.
That's right.
We're gonna make it. He's gonna be touring. We're gonna win Grammys. We're gonna bring another artist, and then he might, you know, do artist part time and help me run the company. He gonna just be no artist now. Because his mind is crazy with ideas, so we need the ideas in the business side, right? So, we do all of this, and I would like to have an art school, you know, and bring art back and with these kids and show them how to make music, teach music, do art, and help them create. Because a lot of kids don't have the tools, resources to even do it, so they just go outside, run outside all day. You know, we can build a little school here in Dallas, and you know, and show them how to do it, and that would be like my main legacy once we get through what we're doing, because we just having fun now, right?
Right.
And making money from it. But once we build our money up, to build a school for the kids, it would be awesome.
I love that. I like, you know, that will definitely change, like, the music industry in Dallas, create opportunities for other kids to learn more along the way, which there's no shortage in learning, right? So how do you envision your contributions, like, shaping future artists?
Well, number one, they will have the understanding of what music really is. Like for me, before I do any beat, usually if I have like a little brain fog, I can't think of anything, I go to Bach. I play Bach on my piano, you know, and or I listen to country or listen to other genres and pull from their stories. It's weird, but I'll do that. That's not hip hop at all.
Right.
And then I think of a hip hop beat listening to classical music, right?
You're right.
So you have to understand how music talks to you. And so when we can teach that in the kids and help them learn how to associate their story with tunes and beats and melodies and keys and then all of that, it's an art to it, you know? So we're going to show them all of that, hopefully, you know, once we get through what we're doing.
Yes, right. Which, speaking of what we're doing, what are we doing right now? What are we working on right now?
Cyfa Fix album is priority, you know, and you all just wait because the guy has a lot to say. And it's crazy how all the tracks lined up and tell it real nicely. And we really even didn't plan it like that. It just fell into a nice orchestrated track for the album, the start and the finish. One session I was playing a beat and he was stuck. He didn't know what to do with the beat. He was walking around, you know, sipping, whatever. He was like, I don't know what to do. And then he just stood there. He looked up in the corner of the wall. And I remember it like yesterday. He said, finally we here and this is not a dream. Ooh. He said, finally that we are here and this is not a dream. And he thought of the melody and he ran in there and he did it. And it was a chick in there, a lady, a sister. And he grabbed her. He said, do this. And man, before you know it, y'all watch. This summer, this is going to be ringing in everybody's ears. Finally, we here, and this is not a dream. It seems so surreal. Ooh. That's the hook of his first song on the album. Finally, it's going to blow your mind.
Yeah, man, the vision behind that was sitting in that studio. It was the same studio I recorded. I'm on the way in. Thank God. And I kept telling him, I said, man, this studio me and Daniel did. This was the last time I got to work with Daniel. And I remember praying. I was like, Daniel, you know, I lost my friend last year. I was like, bro, I need you. I need you to give me that energy, give me that mindset, because we used to always talk about recording. And I remember being in the studio recording, thank God, and he was like, no, I don't want that. I need that grit. Give me Cypher. I want that grit. Like, bro, give me that. And so the whole time I'm sitting in the studio, I look up at the corner and I pray, and I was like, Daniel, I need you. Like, I need you to, I ain't never did an album before. I need you to give me that. Like, whatever it is I need, and like, this is the time I need, you know, I need my ancestors. I need you to show your face. And it popped in my head, finally. Like, and I started singing and humming and not knowing Felicia was sitting there basically listening to me the whole time, from melody to words. And I hadn't even had the words properly, like, out my mouth yet, and she started singing. And I was like, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. And I went in the studio and I tried to lay it. But the more I was trying to lay it, I kept hearing her voice. I was like, man, hold on, y'all wait. I was like, you, come here. She was like, huh? I say, sing that. She was like, all right.
Sing it for us, like.
Nah. He gotta sing it. And when she sang it, we all was in the studio. He had stepped out. He was outside. And when he came back, he was like, whoa. Like, whoa.
What happened here?
It was brilliant. Like, what happened? I was like, I had to let her do it. He was like, yeah, that's a damn smart idea. I was like, and she went in there and bodied it. She bodied. Oh gosh, she bodied that. I was like, oh, this finna be big. From that point, I was like, this finna be huge. And she called me the other day. She like, I really thank you for giving me an opportunity to be on your album. Because 2 weeks before that, before he ever said anything about an album, she was like, I really want to do a song with you. I want to, like, if you ever do an album, call me. Like, I want to work with you.
And look how it just happened.
Fast forward, we in the studio. I walk in, she's in there doing her own thing with the engineer.
Right.
She was like, hey, can I, mind if I, like, can I stick around? Like, bro, I enjoy you. I say, yeah, you can chill, man. I like people in my session. I'm not one of the people, everybody get out. Like, no, I like energy. And so you come in with the right energy, the right vibe, it makes sense.
We have parties at our sessions, by the way.
And we kick it. Like, our sessions are not, boring at all. It's damn near open to the public. As long as you come in with good vibes, energy, and you're not trying to be on all my songs, I'm straight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Right.
she had it, and I was like, yo, we played the record the other day in the studio, just at our listening, just writing, and it was like,
we just went up, man.
oh, everybody that walked in the studio was like, oh shit, this is real.
Wow.
You know,
So-
when they first laid that hook down, I came back in and I heard it. My first thought was, this is bigger than me.
Yeah.
Oh wow, it's bigger than me. And when your goal is way bigger than you got the right goal.
It's like
yeah.
It's like when you thought about starting your podcast and you did it piece by piece, and when you finally had it to where you wanted, it was like finally. That's what this album is. This album is like
Finally we here.
It's like all the years of sweating on stage, all the years of performing and rapping and working with everybody, and just being who you are. Like now you got an opportunity
Can't wait for the track to drop, man. It's gonna be special.
Like, now you have it's like going to the car lot and buying a car, and you look at all these cars and it's like, man, I really want this car, but I can't afford it. Let me grow and get me together and get my income right, and then you finally go back to that lot and you go get that car, and it's like, I finally got my car.
Yeah.
Like that's what this feel like right now.
Yeah, and then Myra, Cyfa and Paris, man, they got together and wrote everything, and he recorded it, and I had the beat already laid out before he recorded it. And when he laid down his story, those 2 verses, I have to go back to my studio and redo the beat.
Oh.
And Paris crazy with a pen.
Wow.
It was crazy.
You would think Paris is me when it come to writing. It's like Paris can write from my perspective, and I have to look at him and be like, bro, get out of my head. Like, I want you to leave my head now, because it's been times where I would be humming, and as I'm humming, Paris is writing what I'm humming.
Ooh.
First of all, I'm humming. I'm not giving you any lyrics. I'm humming, and he would understand what I'm humming and be like, here, Cypher.
That's
And I'm
hard to do,
like,
Myra. When we playing music and him and Paris go in the corner with their iPhone and start writing, right then. I mean, it's like masterpiece writing, man.
Oh.
Like, it's crazy.
P Black is phenomenal.
Like the brain waves are right on
man.
sync.
It's almost scary.
It's like, with me and Black, it's like Shaq and Kobe. Like he Kobe, I'm Shaq.
Yeah.
Like if he got the ball, like, he like, look, I'm gonna run this play, I'm gonna throw you the oop. All you gotta do is dunk it.
So, as you guys are in this brain wave length, like what's in your mind? Like how does that feel? What's going through your mind? As you guys are in sync, there's all this energy in the
answer first.
room.
My mind is thinking about this big truck I'm going to buy once we make it.
Yeah.
House, land, all the things that we invested in, because we all still working. We got jobs.
Yeah.
So all the things I can't get right now, because I want to make sure that we get this off the ground.
Foundation first.
Yeah. So once we get all this done and we accomplish our goals, we going shopping.
Yeah.
Like shopping for real.
Nah, for real.
Yes.
Like
Hey,
nothing on the lot I cannot get.
Like, yo, this just,
know what I'm
you
saying?
need to go pick your where you want to live, and what vehicle you want to drive, and then,
We
for
going.
me, it's a door opener. Like, I don't just want to be an artist. Like I said, I want to get into acting. Like, I really love acting. You know what I mean? Especially comedy, where I could be myself and be free and say what I want. But I mean, I want to act. I always wanted to act. I just never had the outlet or the courage to say, hey, y'all, let me act. Like, I've been presented opportunities. I even took one opportunity, and even though it didn't go through, it taught me a lot. Like, yo, and but I want to get into acting.
I'm into film too.
Yeah, I want to get into film.
Yeah.
I've had the opportunity to have music in films, and just being at the release of the film and listen to your music played, it's like, that's cool, but I want to be on film. Like, I want to act,
Right.
Like, I want to, action, cut. Like, I want to, you know what I mean? Like, that's something I always admired.
Well, it goes right on par with when you say you are an entertainer.
Yeah.
It's very holistic.
Yeah.
And anything that has to do with basically pouring out what's in your heart and showing people, and presenting and acting and engaging with others and growing. And so I think you guys are definitely paving the way. And I can't wait to see what happens there because, comedy, acting, and,
Yeah.
Jesse, with what you're doing, pushing the limits,
Right.
bringing up others. I mean, all of that takes growth. And so you guys are doing it all.
Yeah, appreciate that.
That's,
Thank you.
and I'm here for it. I'm
Yeah.
here for it. And,
Yeah.
and one of the things too is like, I want to emphasize that you are big on foundation. Like you want to do things right the first time.
Yeah.
It's like that motto, measure twice, cut once.
Yeah.
Right. So you're doing it right. And so when, let me make sure that I'm understanding this correctly. When you guys are in the zone, your vision is basically where you want to go.
You got to rap like the rent do.
Absolutely.
You got to rap like the rent do. I tell him that
I like
all the
that.
time. Man, I'm finna go in here and rap like the rent do. Like, that's my way. Like, every time I get in the booth, I think of my way out. Like, that's my way out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to work no more.
Yeah.
I say, I don't want to work like this no more. I don't want to work this way. I want to work doing it my way. I want to work being an artist. Right. If I'm gonna work, sweat, bleed, anything, I want to do it being an artist. If I'm gonna get my hands dirty, I want to do it being an artist. I want my hand to be covered in ink pen ink or, black smudge because we run the sound so heavy, or we done got a 6-hour studio session and we not leaving until, that's the type of work I want to do. I want to read scripts. I want to learn lines. I want to, practice for a show. I want to sound check. This is the type of work I want to do.
Yeah.
Blood, sweat, and tears. Night in, night out. Go to sleep. Hey, you got 9 o'clock call. You need to be up. Be in the lobby at 9 because we got a sound check at 12 noon. Come back. You got to eat, and then you need to go get you some sleep. And you need to be here because you got an interview at this time before your show. You got another interview before the show. And like how he did today, he hit me yesterday and was like, hey, you ready? You got stuff to do. So tomorrow going to be a big day. You know what I mean? And that's how it's been. I ain't talked to him all day this morning. And first thing he did was shot me the address to here. Like for me, that's like I rather as an artist, that's how I want it. I want it like, yo, you gotta be here. You need to do this. Hey, make sure you look like this. You need to like that's what I want.
That accountability.
That and a sense of direction.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? I knew I wasn't a driver. I always said as an artist, like, I gotta have a manager that can like push me. You know what I mean? Not
That's
push
huge.
me in the sense of get on my nerves, push me, but like, yo, okay, look, this what we got a session this day. Hey, get there early because I need you to listen to this beat. And I had to get in early and press play. Session don't start at 7:30. We there at 7.
Yeah.
And we listening to tracks. So when 7:30 start, we finna start recording. You got 30 minutes
Right.
before recording start. Listen to this. Because when we get ready to record, we straight through. Like, he called me, hey, we got this going on tonight at the studio. I invited these people. I got these people coming. You need to let some people know. Hey, I get on the phone. Hey, woo, everybody like, bro, I'll be there. That's why my phone ringing and going off right now. They like, yo, what time is everything going? Like, that's what I needed as an artist. I needed somebody that cared enough to say, hey, come on.
Yes. That's what a true leader does. And you as an artist, you want to be focused on your craft. Speaking of, say when on nights that you have you have a big night, how do you prepare yourself for that night?
I shut myself off, honestly. Like, I literally, like, I say, if I got a show, say my show started at 10:30, I stop answering the phone at like 6:30. If it ain't like him or like somebody calling for real, like my mom or like somebody in my real circle, I don't answer the phone. And I'm usually in my truck smoking, listening to all the songs that I'm either finna do or just creating a vibe for myself and energy. When I get to the venue, they don't see me in everybody's face. You see people speak, hug, but when you actually find me, I'm usually sitting by myself with a drink in my hand, just kind of vibing to myself. A lot of people like, man, you look mean. Like, but then when they get to talking to me, like, bro, you are really like the sweetest, coolest guy on the planet. Like, bro, And it's like, I see why you be by yourself. By the time I get off stage, people like, oh, I see why you be to yourself. That's a lot. You doing it. Like, that's a lot to carry. Like, you say you got a crowd of 350 people, you're one person.
Right.
You're responsible for your emotions and 350 people. And so when you putting on a show, you're not thinking about, oh, I don't like that. I can't do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to. Now you like, yo, let me say this and see if they like it. Blase, blase, ha, 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 ha. Okay, now I got your attention. Now I can get into my show. And so what I started doing was, before I do a show, I had like this little comedy segment where I just say a bunch of stuff, play with the audience, mess with the audience. By the time everybody like, man, he's so cool, I wonder what he's finna do next. Or if you already know about me, it's like, yeah, he done cracked the crowd up and the icebreaker's done. Let him put his show on now.
Yeah.
And I mean, in the split second, my brain cut on. All right, cool. Press play. We finna do the music. My brother will literally look at me every show. You ready? All right, let's go. And the band will get to playing, and I get to get into the show. Band to play. I come back. The whole audience it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta be there because my mother's the one that explained to me who I am and what I do. And was like, bro, she's like, son, when you hit that stage, it's a shift, a complete 360 shift to where we in the audience chilling doing our thing. But when you get up there, we like, oh, there you go. And my mama watched me one night. She's like, I didn't say nothing to you. I didn't bother you. I watched you work the audience, walk through the crowd. You had just got there. You spoke. She said, I watched you go outside and sit at a table by yourself and just kind of pay attention to everybody. And, you know, everybody was trying to get to you. And you ain't really, like, you was just to yourself. And if you ever see me, my security guard, he a big dude, Joven. He watched my every move. Joven would be like, Cypher, you good? You need to be alone? I'm like, yeah, I need to be alone. Like, all right, y'all, let him, you know what I'm saying? Let him breathe. Let him be themselves. And I sit and construct the show in my head in a matter of 5 to 10 minutes, get on stage and do what I constructed in my head in 5 to 10 minutes. And he'll come back and be like, bro, you cold. like, bro, to do what you do, bro, you were literally insanely cold. And, like, I take what I do to heart. Like, I take it serious.
Yeah.
So it's like, I shut off everybody.
Yeah.
Like, I have to, because that's a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot. That is a lot. So, you know, I love that. And it's a whole team effort. Like you mentioned, you know, you like the accountability, the fact that somebody says, hey, you know, be here at this time, be there early, you know, and that is an environment that the whole team creates, right? Because you're on your top game, which says a lot about you, Jesse, you know, being the head producer here. You know, how did you learn to be such a great leader that doesn't tell other people necessarily what to do, but to pull that creative side of them, pull their true selves, their authentic selves, for them to be great?
Trial and error.
Trial and error.
Yeah, through my day job, you know, I had a company in Mississippi. We talked about that, running cable, and you know, doing some contract work. Moved to Texas. Started from the bottom of Texas, and went to a call center. Went from there to supervisor. Got laid off, went to another job. They made me a manager, and even talking about me being like a director for our department as well. But I went through a lot of training in my day job. You know, I trained on project management and all of those things. That's coming into what we're doing now. I didn't even realize it. I was trained on this. So use what you were trained to do as far as like leading people in your team and how to run projects and pour that into this album. So it kind of like worked together.
I see. Yeah, your experience being pretty much a leader in other areas to being a leader in your own environment. How easy or hard? Or not easy or hard? Let me ask you this: what are the biggest challenges with directing others, managing others, other like human beings? Right? There's so much to manage with you know, personalities, egos,
understanding who you're working with.
Oh,
right, and that cannot happen if people are not honest. Right. So Cypher was very transparent and upfront, and he knew what he wanted. And I can work with people who can communicate. Right.
Right.
Just talk, communicate, explain what you want, make sure that it's clear enough where I can understand it, so I can help you. He was very clear. You know, not a whole lot of words. I love that. I'm the same way. Right. He said, "Man, I want this," and if I play a beat, he don't like it, he'll tell me right then. No, next one.
Yeah.
No, let's try something else. And our first night was like my crash, like my whole crash course. Right? He came in my place. I was playing some beats. I was on piano, and I knew it. He ain't feeling this. He ain't feeling this because when he stopped talking, it's a bad vibe. Because when Cypher feeling good, his mouth is going all the time, whether it's jokes, saying something silly, rapping, freestyling. When he's quiet, he grab his phone. No, it ain't working.
Yeah.
Right. So I learned a lot that night, and we came back the next time. We recorded the song.
Yep.
Right. So if he's honest and say, "Hey man, I don't like it," he'll tell you now. I got him last time because I sent him a beat, a song, whatever. I ain't heard nothing back from him for like 5 days. And then we came in the next session. He was like, "Hey man, I ain't like this. Man, why you didn't tell me?"
I had to let it grow on me.
Why you didn't tell me?
I had to listen.
But now he's like, "Hey man, no, yeah, I love it. No." And then when people can communicate, right,
Yeah, me yesterday.
you can work.
Right.
He like, yo, I like these pictures. I'm like, I don't like those. Those are old. He like, but this is we could use it. Yeah, it's too colorful.
Yeah. That communication. It's having productive, disagreements, which it's the only way to get to somewhere that works for both.
Yeah.
Right. So, I absolutely love the chemistry, and how you guys work together, and what you're building, Jesse. As far as just overall the label and what you guys have been doing, how was your experience putting together the first song?
The first song.
Walk me through that experience.
Oh wow, that was a long time coming, Cypher. Long time coming.
Oh man, long time coming.
That was the first time we did
that
together.
Was the first one
at my place.
Okay.
The first time we played when he played the record, it was like a movie intro.
Like a movie, right?
It was like this. It was like, imagine,
Very
you're
cinematic.
doing like a summertime film, and it's, you're trying to give the essence of it. And for me, the beat was huge. So in my mind, I'm like, man, I'm finna have to really write. Like, shit. Like, I can't do nothing. I can't do anything over this beat. And so when we kept playing the record, and I was like, the first thing popped in my head was like, yo, it's been a long time coming. Like, we here. Like we finally, you know what I'm saying? Somebody finally is giving you an opportunity to do this. Like, it's been a long time. And it was a long time coming for a youngin'. Straight up out the trenches for crawling, homie, I'm running 100 miles an hour, man. They ain't gonna see me coming like the Mavs in the finals. Damn it, they had I won it. And people was like, man, why you say that? I was like, you gotta look at it. In 2011, everybody was pulling for LeBron, D. Wade, and Chris Bosh. Yeah. They was pulling for the Miami Heat to knock the Mavs off in the 2011 finals. And Dirk showed his ass.
Yeah.
That was the biggest motivation to what I'm doing right now. It's like, yo, I feel like Dirk when he got to the finals. Like, we here. It's all or nothing. You got to win it. And Dirk went and won it over the biggest three in the NBA, over the best team in the NBA with the best NBA record. He won it with the pieces that he had. They made me realize, like, yo, this might not. He's not a big name producer everybody know, but that don't mean he not good. You know, and that's how I felt. Like, yeah, Jason Terry at the time wasn't no Kobe or no, but Jason Terry was good.
Oh yeah.
Deshaun Stevenson wasn't, an A-list back, but he was good. And all together, collectively, they won. So when I said, like the Mavs in the finals, damn it, they hated the Mavs won the finals. It was like, it was supposed to be LeBron. It was supposed to be the Miami Heat. And here we are in Dallas, our first ring ever.
I see.
And so from that point on, now you got Luka.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's eventually here either this year or sometime Luka gonna win the finals.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And once again, they're gonna be mad we in the finals. And so that's how it is.
That's how it is.
You know, it's been a long time coming. We here and we finna win. And when we do, yeah. And so that's what it was.
I see. You know, just looking ahead a little bit, you know, with I know you want to tap into the film industry, maybe acting. Where else? Like, how do you see your future? Where do you envision
Honestly,
Cyphers going?
running a label, like Jesse said, helping run a label. Doing what
Going
Jay
big.
You're doing what Jay doing, giving artists opportunities to be able to. You see what Jay did for J. Cole, and now where J. Cole at. You see what Jay did for, you know, a lot of artists. You know, he put a lot of artists in position to win. Like, that's the type of artist I want to be. Like, right now, I got artists like, bro, like, you know, can you help me? Can you, you know, put me here? Can you? And in my mind, I'm like, man, I'm still growing. But they don't view you like that. And I had to learn that just because you don't see you as great, that don't mean these 50 other people don't see that.
That's right.
There's 50 other people that look at me like I'm the biggest thing walking on the face of the earth as a rapper. And myself, I'm like, man, I gotta grow. They're like, man, we don't see that.
Yeah.
I had to respect that. You know, and so now looking, say 10 to 15 years from now, I want to be able to, you know, put artists in position, teach them how to, you know, sign contracts the right way, teach them how to read contracts, teach them percentages, teach them how to have a budget, teach them how to, you know, not be afraid to tap into things that other people might look at you and be like, man, don't do that, that's whack. And
Not be afraid.
You know?
Face your fears. Yeah, I, you know, it goes right on par with, you know, Jesse, what you mentioned earlier. What about you though? Where do you see, you know, your production, your label, your work? Where do you see that going?
I would love to partner with a major label, not give them everything, but partner with them to make whatever we're doing even bigger, right?
Distribution.
And get into Hollywood, and because right now I got movie ideas that I want to get into and tell stories. I mean, we can do it with music or we do it with film.
Storytelling.
Right? That's what we do, right? So hopefully, and I'm a fan of Sony. You know, when I was little, I used to like to see those records with the little dog looking at the little record player, and they bought that company, and that's a real big, huge label. So I've been pushing for Sony to kind of like collab with us for a little bit and make what we're doing bigger.
And I believe it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely the building blocks are there. I think everything I hear, like leader, artist, passion, contribution, collaboration, goals, dreams, visions. And I think that is something that we need. And, you know, and I circle back, I think it's very crazy what you mentioned. You know, you put out such a great opportunity for people to come in and perform, and you had 0 replies to your ads. And I think something like this, local, you know, people that people are looking up to, you know, your fans, they see you guys as the ticket, right? And just expanding that. And the lack of, you know, you mentioned, you know, just getting venues. You hear it's hip hop, and people, you know, start putting stricter restrictions, or you know, even closing the doors potentially, in some instances. So it's just kind of opening that door for all of these artists. And so I love anything that has to do with growth and love and what you have to do. You know, it's money.
You mentioned how challenging it is. It's lonely. Because when I don't know how you deal with this life, but when you talk about your ideas and your vision, you be so excited about it. You talk around it with your family and friends, and they look like you're crazy, you know? But so it kind of like puts you to yourself, you by yourself, right? And it's a lonely position to follow your dreams because people don't believe in you.
Get a job.
Like
you need a job.
Right? So you have to be able to do that by yourself. You know, I'm not by myself. I have a supportive wife and family.
Right.
My mom is going to be there tonight. My mom is going to be there in our session tonight.
Wow.
All right, that's big.
I knowing your story, I know that's
that is
huge.
big. All right,
Yeah.
and don't change your mind. I want to see you tonight. All right, you gave me your word. I want to see you, Mama.
Yeah.
Nah, man. I mean, not giving up, y'all.
Right.
Like,
Right.
it's crazy because I remember sitting in my room one night and I was like, man, this can't be it. Like, this can't be it for me. Like, I know I gotta, like, man, I know I got what it take. I know, like, I don't know what I need to do to get heard, get out. And it's been a few times. I remember I went viral with Bebe. Shout out to Bebe, Cam104's Bebe. I went viral with him at the Hub. Like, everybody was like, bro, who the hell is this big dude? Like, he can rap. Like, I mean, everybody was like, bro, he not like every other rapper in Dallas.
Right.
He can rap, but they didn't know how to package me. They didn't know how to market. They was like, bro, he can rap, but he don't have no specific genre. Do we put him with Kendrick? Do we put him with trap? Do like what we do? Because he can kind of tap in everything, and then he's so versatile and universal around. Like, we can put him on any kind of record. And so now it's like, Jesse, like, I know how to package you. Come on. And, you know, when somebody kind of look at you like, bro, I got you. You like, what you mean? And he was like, just give me a shot. You give me a shot, I'll give you a shot.
Right.
I got everything you need. I got the studio. I know how to do this. I know how to do that. Just give me a shot. Because I wasn't hesitant because of him. I was, like you say, people got trauma. I was hesitant because I was like, man, I ain't trying to give myself and rap and be great for somebody else for me to end up in the backseat or not doing nothing a couple years later. Because like I said, there's been times where I was up here and everybody was like, bro, this gotta be it. I know Cypher to blow. And you look up 6 months later, you like, bro, what's the next thing? Like, you know, and you holding on to your residency because it's giving you a push, but it ain't enough.
Right.
It ain't enough to make a person like, I gotta consistently keep messing with them. It's like, oh, I'll see you next Thursday.
Right.
You like,
right.
Now it's like, oh, when the next session? What you got going? What you doing? Like, can I just pull up and listen? Can I, you know what I mean? Like, that's huge for me.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, you go a year ago, you land in the bed ready to give up. To a year later, like, everybody, like, my phone going nuts right now. Like, everybody is looking forward to just pulling up to the studio tonight just to come be a part of the energy and atmosphere. Yeah. Because for years, it's like, Cypher need an album. Cypher, who got the balls to do an album with Cypher? Who got it? It was him.
It was him.
It was him.
Yeah.
He was like, I do it. And why? Not only will I do it, but I step outside of what I want to do and what I said I wasn't going to do. Because he said, man, I ain't trying to manage no artists.
He keep bringing it up.
I'm not managing. He said, man, I'm not managing no artists, man. He was like, man, I just want to do the music. And I was like, all right, cool. Come fast forward. And be like, man, yo, who we contact? Call my manager. I'm like, he the producer too. Call my manager. Call the label on him. Like, call the label. And so now it's like, I hear them like, hey, this lady want to do this show. She want to interview. She want to do this. I'm finna put you in this group chat. Then I'm going to step back. He hit me back. Like, yeah, everything locked in for Sunday. You ain't got nothing to worry about.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and then you see the feedback between them in the group chat, and it's like, damn. And you got to kind of look at a guy like, finally. And that all resonated. Like, here we are. Finally, the album. Finally, life is in place. Yeah. Finally, all the pieces to the puzzle falling in. Finally, you got motion. You got traction. Finally. So it was only right to call this album Finally.
Finally.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I love that. Tell me, what else do you got going on? What are you looking forward to?
Man, shows. Like I say, man, Austin, Texas has fell in love with me and my art. And they're like, yo, want to do a show, you need to. I have a residency out there now where it's like I can do whatever I want. If you've never been to Austin, when it comes to the music industry and market, Austin is a place. Yeah. They have designed, you can go out there as an artist and live and get insurance, medical, life, health insurance, everything. You can get that as an artist. You can get an apartment in Austin, like the way Austin has sculptured the way of life for artists out there is amazing. So I love being in Austin. Baltimore. Shout out to my brother Mike Thomas. We get ready to go to Baltimore soon. We just talked the other night. We got some things going. And really just tapping in with everybody. Shout out to my guy Roland Ray. Ray is like, yo, you know, you going to New Orleans anytime soon. If you going to New Orleans, I got you. You going to Miami, I got you. Let me know when you get there. I'll tie you in to who you need to be tied into. Like, I see what you're doing. Like, yeah, and Ray is like, he's ready to be a solid investor. He like, yo, just let me know what's popping. You know what I mean? Like, long as it makes sense and there's a return, I'm down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's, you can't get no, and Ray already know, oh, I'm not, where he say this all the time, I'm not worried about you, Cypher. All I got to do is put you on stage. I get my money back. He say that all the time. He told me the other day on the phone, I put my every last penny behind you when it come to being on that stage. No, I done been to Drake concerts. I done been but don't nobody outperform you. And I hear that often. Like, bro, I done been to mega concerts, but ain't nothing like you when you on that stage. Your energy is huge. So now it's like time to resonate that into the music and resonate that into setting up. Like I tell people all the time, like, after I get through with this album, I'm going to go on tour. I don't care if it's a small market or a big one. I'm going on tour.
Definitely. And how can people follow you and where you're going?
Social media, websites. I think we got Big Cypher, BigCypher.com, if I'm not mistaken. Or did he? I think he's got BigCypher.com, Cyphafix.com. One of them. Shout out to Daniel. Google Cypher, and you can find whatever you want. Cypher Fix, you can Google me. I have verification. I'm on Instagram at @the_Cypher. Boom, there we go. Shout out to my mans. I'm on all platforms. I'm on every single platform you can think of, every music outlet you can think of. My boss one day tripped me out. She was like, I'm scrolling, and I pull up, and I see you. And she was like, at first, I didn't know it was you. She's like, but then as I kept looking, I'm like, that looked like my employee. Man, she was like, you know, you do an amazing job. Yeah, man, I'm on every outlet, every music outlet, every music platform, Spotify, Tidal. I'm on everything.
Yeah, so look him up, guys. And for you, Jesse, how can people, anybody, any artist, people that want to learn more, people that are looking into collaborating, how can they get in touch with you?
They can go to jpastamedia.com, and we have a way they can contact us at the site. Or just search for Jesse Dale Queens. I'm the only Jesse Dale Queens on earth. So if you search it, you're going to get me for sure. Yeah, that was intentional.
Yes.
All right, so Jesse Dale Queens at gmail.com, jpastamedia at gmail.com, create at jpastamedia.com. We on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We all.
Yeah, so
everywhere.
Southern Crops, man.
Southern Crops.
Southern Crops.
Shout out to the label. I'm getting that tattooed on me. It might be done tonight while I'm recording. Southern Crops is the label. It's the way of life at this point. I believe in that. What he say in that movie? I believe in it like Coca-Cola believe in Coca-Cola and Pepsi believe in Pepsi. It's our brand. I believe in Southern Crops, man. Like I said, I felt that in my spirit. Like, yo, this has to be, you know. So that's how Rockefeller is to Jay-Z. Southern Crops is to Big Cypher. You know what I mean?
And then to have someone who believe in your vision like you do.
Right.
It's a partner, right?
Yeah. That's more than a partner. Yeah. Somebody to see that vision and to contribute to it.
Right.
That's special.
Yep.
Yeah. Those are hard to find. So, you know, this has been such an inspiring conversation with you guys. You know, I've learned so much about you, not just, you know, as an artist, but as a person, what drives you, you know, and I hope the audience is able to capture that as well and get to know you a little bit more than just, you know, Big Cypher on the stage, and where you're at, where your mind's at, where you want to go, and feel the passion that I feel here. And I want to thank you both for being here today. It's been such an honor.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I'm glad to be here, Myra.
For giving us the platform and opportunity to be boisterous.
Yes.
For
Yes.
everybody collectively coming together, because this is, even running a podcast is talent. That's a gift. Everybody's not able to speak and to dialect and to monotone and know how to ask questions and conversate. So we thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been my pleasure. It's been my honor. And I'm ready to get partying tonight.
So we're having a good time.
Let's go.
We are having a good time
Yes.
tonight. And then after tonight, after the studio session, I don't know, man, we might hang out at Freeman Cafe. Shout out to R.C. Williams. We might go to Freeman and just do an after party there and just enjoy it, you know?
Yes.
Good vibes, good energy, and just enjoy the night, man. Tonight is about just good energy, man.
Yes.
Good energy.
Cheers to the success, all the success so far, and everything else that's coming.
Hey.
Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Follow Cyfa, follow Jesse Del Queens with J Pasta Media and Southern Crops. Let us know what you think, and I hope you enjoyed.